What's going on, everybody? Doc, Average Gamer Guys, back yet again. More Escape from Tarkov action. Jumping into a Lighthouse video. This one, we're going to be talking about the extracts, showing them off a little bit, talking about the map in general, and just hopefully giving you a little bit of a quick guide on if you jump into Lighthouse, how you can get the heck out of there. Hope you like my screenshot in the back. And without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the standard extracts you're going to see, and this is going to be specific to PMCs. So I just want to highlight that and outline that that's what we're going to cover. And we're not going to cover the scav extracts, but we may in a future video. So here's what we're talking about. We have some pretty standard and quite a few extracts that you're going to find across Lighthouse, and they seem to be pretty well dispersed. It looks like the Battlestate Games team has learned, maybe from some past instances, of not always having good options to leave maps. I will tell you, based on the spawns, they will vary just a little bit, but it seems like quite a few of these things are going to be open to you every time. So you just got to essentially pick which way you want to go, and should not have too much of trouble to get there. So the other thing that I want to cover is there's some standard ones that you're going to see. We have a vehicle extract, as you would expect. We actually have a cliff extract requiring a paracord and red rebel. It's one of the only ones that we won't cover in this video. And then our standard player scav and PMC joint co-op extract as well. We've got quite a few good ones, and there also seems to be quite a few things that are always open. We're also get the train, which is pretty cool. So let's dive into exactly what we got here. So first one, road to military base VX. So 5,000 rubles per player. This will obviously diminish as you get fence up and running and get your karma with him a little bit higher, as we've seen in the past. It is not always open, which is an interesting thing. I think I say this in the little clip I'll show, but it is not always open. But that is going to be your car extract. Please do keep in mind, as it shows here, and we're using the Escape from Tarkov wiki, I should have pointed that out first, that snipers will be beyond the vehicle. So don't push too far past the vehicle. There's a bus and a couple other things that you can kind of just hide down behind, and you'll be able to make the extract. Side tunnel. This is going to be your player scav and your PMC extract. It's a little interesting because you would expect this to actually be a normal extract, and it is not. You're going to come up to it. It's the tunnel essentially that goes to Shoreline. It's blown out. It's blocked. You can't get through it. There's a small door on the side of it you're going to be able to walk through. And in there, if you push back far enough, you'll be able to get into the extract. I will comment that there seem to be some pretty good items inside of that, as far as just like barter items, tool type things that you can find in there, so do keep that in mind. Mountain Pass will be the one that we don't show as we go through this. Again, this is your paracord, red rebel, armor vest. Honestly, the reason I didn't show this is because at this point in the wipe, not a lot of folks have this, so I do apologize if you're looking for that one, but it is out there on the map, and you can use it if you are lucky enough to have those things. Path to Shoreline. This one is actually very cool. Relatively easy to identify, especially once you kind of have a good sense for where it is. You're going to be able to see the Shoreline Sunken Village in the background. It's one of the first extracts I found. Very, very neat. And a good one. This is a very large extract, very similar to Woods and Outskirts, where it has a very large area where you can get out from, so that's pretty nice. You've got your northern checkpoint. This one's going to be relatively simple to find, but arguably one of probably maybe a little bit harder to get to, but dependent on your pathing for this, just because this does run through your rogue camp or by your rogue camp. It also runs over pretty close to the shipping container and where the armored train is going to show up, so do keep that in mind. Some pretty good things to be able to hide behind and get into this one. Do note that you got to kind of move to the side of a vehicle, so just keep that in mind. First time I walked up to it, and you'll see the clip, I really didn't understand why I couldn't get out, but you just got to be in the right position. Southern Road, probably one of the farthest extracts, obviously dependent on spawn. You got to take a really, really long path to get here. This one feels like a little bit of a rough extract, again, depending on your spawn, as well as it feels like a decent chance that you might run into folks, especially anybody else either trying to extract or maybe coming from that way. So do just keep that in mind, but it's pretty good. There's some stuff along the way, but nothing too crazy, but it is a pretty long haul to get there. And then the last one is going to be Armored Train. So this, as you can see, arrives at about 1820 or at the latest about 8 minutes, 7:45 into the raid. It stays for 7 minutes. It's going to be your standard honks when it arrives, when it's going to leave, all that kind of stuff. You just got to make sure that you're on it. And this is going to be very easily identified because it's in a huge shipping container. Shipping container is absolutely monstrous. Ton of good stuff so far that I've been able to kind of see as far as jumping in there. Some really big buildings and things like that. I feel like this is going to be a relatively decent hotspot. But also a good option. As you can see here, there are quite a few other additional scav extracts, a couple that they've outlined already, so do search around for that, but those ones are open for you. What I want to jump into really quick next is actually throwing out some clips, and I'm going to talk about just general flow of the map. Hopefully that's helpful for everybody, so we'll swap over to that. Okay, so as we jump in here, I'm going to continue to use the Escape from Tarkov wiki here to help us out and just give a general overview of how this map is laid out. I'm going to highlight, I'm going to circle just generally where some of these extracts are. Again, at some point through the editing, I'll be showing clips of exactly where to get and how to get to each of them. What I will say is it is a relatively linear map, but there is a lot of space from what I would call northern boundary to southern boundary. Your southern boundary, an easy way to kind of identify that is if you get to the actual shoreline, you're at the southernmost portion of the map. Now, Lighthouse, the entrance to it is on kind of the far southeast corner. You can't get into this yet. That is not part of the expansion, not part of the map yet. If you do try to walk up to this, there are some snipers. They will absolutely destroy you. So do keep that in mind. But again, you have a lot of flexibility in here. There are some really good landmarks that you can point to when you're moving through this map to help kind of get your bearings, figure out which way you're facing, and all those kinds of things. There's obviously a ton of water features. That's going to be the easiest. There are also a couple of buildings, couple of compounds, and some other kind of distinct things that you can point to. So I'm just going to work from kind of the east to the west and talk about the big things. I'm also going to point out the specific extracts so you have a decent idea, just mental picture of where you're going. I strongly recommend bring up this map. We'll also talk about this map, which is a really nice, just simple map to help you understand kind of where things are, and I'll put that in reference to this as well. So let's jump in. So first thing, kind of starting at the top northeastmost corner, this is actually going to be your Southern Road extract, which is pretty interesting. So do keep that in mind. Again, I'm talking north to south as far as this map is kind of concerned, so hopefully that doesn't screw you up too much, but this is your Southern Road extract. And that makes a lot of sense. You're going to see that. You're going to have to go through basically this pretty windy road. You can get up into this a little bit, but a lot of it's going to be restricted. So the majority of it, you're probably going to be running down the road or running along the shoreline to get to here. Now, the nice part with that is if you do go and do that, you'll be able to see Lighthouse. That's down here, so it's a good marker to kind of keep your bearings. But Southern Road Extract is here. As you move down and we come up, there's going to be basically a jog off where it goes from a paved road to kind of a sort of broken and unpaved road. That jog off right here is going to be the tunnel, very easily distinguishable, and that is going to be your side tunnel, which is your PMC and scav joint extract. Now you've got some winding roads in here that actually connect into two different, I would call them key landmarks. You have the Chantel, or this is kind of like the USEC camp. We've seen that from quite a few different videos. Very large building, very large structure, sits up on a pretty large hill. It's got some other buildings scattered around here, but that is basically situated right here. If you continue to move to the left, you're going to run into Pike Peak Resort, which is also a compilation of quite a few different buildings. Very easy to identify because of the blue roof. The nice part and another good feature of this map is basically this road that runs north, south, east, west, depending on, again, the orientation of the actual map. And it runs basically through this thing. So that is another good thing. If you are ever kind of confused or you're not really sure which way to go, try to find the road, and hopefully that will help pinpoint. One thing that I do want to point out that's also very helpful, that kind of helps you to center around the map, is you have kind of a village in here. It's kind of scattered. It's along a dirt path here. There's some buildings, as you can see here. There's a compound that kind of looks almost like a gas station, or maybe like a car shop here. Across the road from that is kind of a construction area, typical containers that you would see. This is a good key indicator that you're about in the mid-center portion of the map. Again, the nice part here is you can go to the right, you can go to the left, and you should be able to find some extracts that are going to be open for you. If you continue up and you actually move through this village and you shade just a little bit to the right, this is going to be your path to Shoreline Extract is going to be right up here. Okay, you have mountains and stuff that'll actually block you off. You'll come around this lake. You'll have some features, some mountain features, some rock features. Same thing on the backside of this village. You have some more, and then in between those two things, you'll be able to see back here, which again is the sunken portion, sunken village portion of Shoreline. So you just got to step back into there, and there is your extract. Now, as we continue to move again to the left here, you're going to basically come into what we consider, or what is called, water treatment. So this is a huge water treatment plant. This place is absolutely humongous. If you come up along this road, you're essentially going to get into what I would call kind of like the barricade area, where the rogues are going to be blocking this off. It's going to be pretty well heavily fortified. There is a gate that you can get in. Strongly recommend, if you want to get around this, you can certainly move around. You're going to see the road basically just circles this thing. So it gives you some options. There's also a pipeline that runs up into this pretty large warehouse building. You have two of them right here. You can run back behind that. Don't go too far north here, because there is going to be mines. You can get up on top to get some good sight lines in here and into these buildings inside the water treatment, but don't move too far north. There is going to be some mines that will end up getting you killed. Most of these buildings are actually out of play over here, but they are good landmarks again, because you're going to be able to see those from your entrance. There's basically a wall that's going to run along here. You can step in. This is kind of your boundary right here. You can step in. This is the shipping container area here, which actually extends kind of through here. This is actually part of, I believe, the water treatment plant. Or no, I take that back. This is the water treatment building. This is all really the big shipping area container. Your armored train is going to show up in here, so do keep that in mind. If you move, again, to the top side or the north side here, again, I think the map is actually rotated, so my cardinal directions here are probably going to be off. But right up here is going to be your car extract. So do keep that in mind. Road to military base VX. So do keep that in mind. The best landmark that you can use some of these blue topped and pretty large buildings to keep that reference point. Again, there is a wall, so basically if you just keep running, you'll hit this wall and just go to the right, and that will take you up. And again, water treatment will be a good key indicator for you. Put yourself between basically the shipping area and water treatment. Move to the top side, and you'll be able to get out there. Remember, that's 5,000 rubles. If you continue down this road, or you skirt past and use the shoreline here, and be careful, there are some mines littered in here as you approach this rogue camp. As you move through and down this road, this over here is going to be your northern checkpoint. So it looks like this is the north and this is the south. So again, I do apologize for some cardinal direction confusion there, but you step in here, you'll be able to use your northern extract. You'll be able to get out from that point. It is important to note that this is blocked off with a wall here, but you can slip into the container yard through some holes in the wall along this side. In addition to that, there are some free range openings where you can continue to run down the railroad tracks. Don't do that. You will die. More snipers, or I think it is snipers that end up killing you over here. So there's a lot of hidden hazards, I will say. The mines up here are not marked. The mines down here are marked, but they can be a little bit difficult to see the markings with just everything going on, or until we get familiar with the map. So that's your general overview. You do have some crossing points as well. There's some small bridges. There's also some kind of like broken down bridges. I think right up in here, there's one where you can jump on like a plank and then onto some rocks and get over this water feature. So do keep that in mind. But that is a general overview of what we got going on. I just want to highlight this again. This is probably oriented the right way. You can see we've got, again, your side co-op tunnel, your southern road extract. You've got your lighthouse over here. You do have some sunken buildings and some fishing buildings over here. The chalet, Pikes Peak. We talked about that village again. Path to Shoreline, I think, is actually probably a little bit more over this way if we were to adjust this drawing a little bit. You do have some shoreline cottages. Again, you can keep keep that frame of reference for the shoreline and the water on your side. You've got the lumber mill, you've got, again, your water treatment, your railroad, and your extract, northern checkpoint, and then your road, military base, VX. So that should be pretty good. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Hopefully a quick overview. And again, I should be throwing in some clips of just where to get to these different extracts. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Hopefully quick, short, and down to the point, and just hopefully useful for you. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. We've got a ton of content coming out for Escape from Tarkov, so be sure to do that. In addition, we do stream over on Twitch Fridays and Saturdays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to give us a follow over there, come chat with us about Tarkov. You can find that in the links in the description below. We've got our Discord and our Twitter as well if you want to stay up to date with our channel. With that, I've been Doc, Average Gamer Guys. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next Escape from Tarkov video. Peace.